everything for me and made me land a
Right.
job with 400% hike. There's no magic here. This effect is clearly backed by science. So the next time when you fail to negotiate a better package, if you're not getting your appraisal or promotion, this is the one problem that you want to.
Okay, I'm checking the sound volume. How is the how is my volume? Good, perfect. Okay. I think we are live on LinkedIn and we are also streaming live on YouTube. All right. Welcome back to Coffee and Communication with Yogeshwari combined with Daily Live with Surya. Now here we are going to have a double dhamaka, double energy on a Monday morning. So all of a sudden, Surya and I, we decided that we are going to do this live together because today's topic is something that most of us keep thinking. I know my techniques. I'm the best at my expertise. I'm in this field for 10 plus years, 20 plus years. Yet, when it comes to explaining what I'm doing, I'm going blank. When it comes to, okay, tell me, what do you do? If someone asks that, either I completely go blank and just say, I'm a data analyst, I'm an engineer, I just work in IT. Recently, I read a LinkedIn post which said that if your mom cannot explain what you do, you are leaving money on the table. If your mom cannot explain to her neighbors, to her circle, to the grocery shop owner, what are you doing? When you need that opportunity, that network, your mom cannot help you. And if your mom cannot help you, no one understands what you're doing. Your boss doesn't understand what you're doing. Your friends doesn't understand what you're doing. Literally, you have the network, but you are not using them because no one knows what you're doing. And that is the biggest problem when it comes to explaining what we are doing. And the major reasons are few. We are going to discuss that right now. And that's why I have the most energetic Dr. Suryadev in the house. Help me welcome him. Hi, Surya. What do you think about this one little aspect that I know my skill, but when it comes to explaining, when it comes to sharing that in a short span of time while making impact, I struggle. Why do you think people go through that?
I just hope my cold doesn't affect the quality of the conversation. It's very interesting when you were telling that when our mom is not able to explain it, we are leaving money onto the table. This is such a prominent thing. As while you were immediately saying it, I was reminded of my mom, how much she has taken me all the way to the greatest heights where the entire Kolkata thinks I'm the greatest dentist ever born. To such an extent, while people are like, come to my house, I will help you create a dental clinic so that you can start the treatments. And I'm thinking, had I chosen dentistry, how many initial clients I would have already had. But here am I, like, probably I'm the perfect ideal candidate, the guinea pig for this conversation, because I struggle with this so much. Having practiced communication, having gone through the techniques and methods, yet when it comes to my parents, my family, I zone out, I blank out. It feels like I'm doing some kind of a crime that I have to hide from them. And that's because my parents think of this to be a crime. Although in the last couple of years, because I've started making money, they keep asking me, but I still find it so difficult to explain to them what is it that I do. The moment I try to do so, they keep telling, no, this is something that you could have done even if we had not put you in dental college, isn't it? So, is it really helping you? Now, these kind of questions, when they ask, you mentioned about what's the situation, right? How can we even communicate yet when we do have the practice techniques and methods, but the actual conversation zones you out completely? It blanks you out. Your emotions take over, anger gets in, guilt kicks in, and all of these emotions already acts as a sabotage, self-sabotage mechanism. It's even difficult to breathe in that situation. Forget about speaking. I mean, that's what happens with me every single time I go home or I meet any relatives. And then I see this the stigma around it. Like my maternal uncle knows that I'm not into dentistry. I keep focusing on sales and marketing. And he also tells like, okay, I know it, but don't tell this to my relatives. They will feel insulted if you tell like this, and I will feel insulted. So all these different layers, it puts us in a very difficult spot. So that's my scenario at this present moment while you were sharing.
I completely get it. So, with this conversation, what I'm able to understand is it is 80% mindset and 20% it's the actual skill of speaking. Because what you just shared, it's about the mindset of, first of all, we accepting what our career is, and then we understanding what our career is, and then trying to explain that to our parents, to our relatives, and their mindset as well. So if we don't help them understand what we are doing, obviously, just now when you said that, had you decided to pursue your dentistry, you would have had your initial set of clients already. You wouldn't have had to worried about your initial set of clients, because your mom, she goes and she talks about it to everyone because she's proud that you're a dentist, right? Now, keeping our unique situation a little aside, because our unique situation brings altogether a different topic. Now, when we choose a different career path, if our parents don't understand and accept that, how to talk about it to them, that's a different topic altogether. I think we can come back to it in a different episode. However, keeping this in mind, that our parents bring, they have the best networks and they bring the first set of people to us, and they are the biggest megaphone for us, right? Everyone keeps asking them, what does your son do, what does your daughter do, what does your children do, and they have to share that. Now, I just want to ask questions to everyone who is watching this episode. How is your mom talking about your career to her relatives or her circle? Is she telling that, my son works in a big company, just sitting in the laptop, typing the keyboard? I actually have no clue what is he doing. My daughter, she just goes for work and I'm happy with that. She just works in the computer, sitting all day long. I have no clue what she does. Is that what they say? Or what do you tell to your parents when they ask you, what do you do? Mom, I'm just working in the computer. Do you say that? Mom, I'm just talking to my colleagues. Do you say that? Or if we find out a way where you can explain that in the simplest term, will it be easy for you to communicate? So, Surya, if we have to share to someone who doesn't understand what do we do, how can we share that to them? Let's just say our parents come and their mindset is they are okay in whatever we are doing. They've accepted. Let's keep that scenario. And if you have to tell mummy, what are you doing for your living? How can you explain that in the simple terms?
I mean, the last time I went home, I just told them the truth. I work in a company that works specifically on healing, meditation, all these things. And because I'm associated with the healthcare realm, they've onboarded me as their head of sales. Parallelly, every single thing that I'm learning, the latest AI related tools and skills, is what I create content on, is what I teach. Now, for me, this question is actually a bouncer, honestly, because over the last 7 years, that's what I have been trying to explain to my parents. However, it's very, very difficult to do so because they're so much attached to dentistry. Again, because they've kind of identified that they've told the whole society that my son is a dentist, my son is a doctor. So I need to give them an answer that fulfills their expectations, their understanding, and what they can also relay to the whole society. Now, I'm yet to come up with that answer, to be very honest. And whenever this situation happens, I always resort to truth. At the end, I believe you cannot structure things until and unless it's completely who you are. And only when you open all your cards, especially with your parents, right, then they will understand that you're having trouble to explain. And then they will try to understand and they'll try to pitch things in their way. So slowly, slowly, my parents are shifting from, oh, Orko is a dentist, to, no, there's a lot of AI and all that has come out, right? So Orko has gone into that slowly, slowly. That's what they are pitching. Now, that is happening very, very slowly. I mean, it's already 7 years. So pretty long time. So that would be my answer. I don't know if it's the perfect answer, but that's what I am doing presently. And I'm hoping that you will be able to enlighten us with a better way to approach this.
So there's nothing right or wrong about this because you are just sharing what you can presently do, and you should also keep them in mind. So keeping this for our listeners, here is the simple method to understand first of all what are you doing, and then help your parents or help someone who is not in your technical field to understand what you're doing. Now you can simply find who are you helping or what are you actually doing. For example, are you an engineer who builds an app? Now, I understand for an engineer, there is front end, there is back end, there is full stack, too many things, right? Now, keep it simple. Are you an engineer who builds an app? Yes. Now, to whom do you build app? Do you build app for a restaurant company? Do you build app for a, automobile company? What do you do? Or do you build app for coaches? Or do you support them? What do you do? Simple. What exactly the task that you're doing, removing all the jargon, and who is getting benefited. As simple as that. Now, in our case, we are teaching how to speak. Now, whom we are teaching, we are not helping students, we are not helping school students and college students, we are not helping moms, we are not helping uh, veterans. No, we are helping professionals who are in the mid career. We are helping professionals who are team leaders, managers, or someone who has a team under them, right? So we help you speak, or we help mid career professionals speak confidently. One line, as simple as that. Now, if you are an engineer who creates an app, who develops an app, you can simply say, I develop app for automobile companies. I develop the uh, user experience app for restaurants, for cloud kitchens. Simple. Now, this will help you to understand what exactly you're doing. You're not coding, you're not running the data, you're not doing all the complex things. It is just a part of the overall outcome. Now, if you use this on your LinkedIn to people whom you are speaking, to your parents, when they go and communicate it to their circle, the communication becomes clear and opportunities start to open up. When you start communicating this to your friends, when your boss knows what exactly you're doing, when you sit for an interview and you just use this one line, it is easy for people to understand what is the output that you are bringing. Hope this is simple, Surya.
Honestly, it isn't. Because when you look at the simple concept of I build an app and you tell parents the same. Now, on one end, it is easy for them to relay the same to the relatives, but they themselves don't know what is the meaning of the app. And I can simplify it. This cold is going to kill me. Okay. I can simplify it to such an extent that you are taking your phone and you are using the different applications in your phone, and I am the one who creates them. Now, how is that even relevant? What impact is it creating in the society? Or what am I earning? So for them, it's very, very difficult to fathom that, oh, a company is going to pay so much of money for someone to create an app on the phone. Oh, is it? And that again puts in a more complicated loop. Like, how do I even explain it to you? So while sharing it and putting it across is easy, but to see that as an impact, like they are telling this to their distribution and their network, that process is what feels a little difficult. Now, in this case, what I personally feel, at least in Bengal, that's what happens, is when you are not able to get people to explain what is it that you do, the best way to share that is to flex the income that you are having. So these days, mummy has been very, very. Last year, I gave her a birthday gift of a beautiful picture revolving photo frame kind of a thing. Every guest who comes in, she will show it to them. See, my son has gifted me this. And they're like, how does your son know all this? No, he's practicing different designing stuff, which he does for the companies that he works for. And I asked mommy, like, I never told this to you, right? Then she said, no, no, no. You told me, no, in your company, you will take care of teams that do all these designing and everything. And then I realized, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of do it. But then you have to understand that she's explaining things in a way that's easy for her to understand. So it's not just about what we tell them, but are we able to simplify it to such an extent where they will accept, they will understand, they will be able to process, and then they will be able to share it in their own way with a proper validation and proof. In this case, it was that showpiece photo frame. So, I mean, I think in this episode, I'm just the one who's setting context and praying for answers from you. This is a genuine problem that at least I'm personally facing big time, day in and day out, to such an extent where I don't even want to talk to my parents about my what is it that I'm doing until unless I'm able to show them. So it gets very, very difficult because now even the simplest bit of conversation, how are you? I don't want to answer it because it'll all come back to the work and all that. They'll ask me to explain, which they are absolutely right on their end, but I'm finding it very difficult to do so. If it's YouTube videos that I'm doing and I can sit down, Mummy, Baba, see, this YouTube video made this much of people saw, and this much of money is what YouTube paying me. If they see that, then they will be like, hey, my son is a YouTuber and he's earning from YouTube. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel. That's when distribution opens. You're able to understand the problems that I'm going through. Yes.
Yeah, the biggest problem that you're going through is the money in your bank account. I can understand that. And your parents, they understand money in the bank account better than anything else in the world. So, yeah. And kind of it's true because what they know is what they can understand. If they don't have the context of whatever we are sharing, Obviously, they'll not be able to understand. So we have to speak in their language. And you are right about it. Now, in order to bring the money in their bank account, obviously you have to create more videos, more YouTube videos, and you have to get better at your skill so that you can get your distribution channel opened, I believe. Right? And I'll touch upon this. You know that you need to show money in your bank account in order to help your parents at this time, right? And you know that if you make YouTube videos, you will get better at it, right? Now, were you able to make more YouTube videos? Yes, that's fantastic. If no, what is stopping you?
I mean, this episode is 54th episode straight day we are doing. So I am able to make YouTube videos. However, there comes one more big challenge. Like, you can tell parents stuff that they can understand, but you, because you are in it, you are in the ocean and you are swimming, so you know the nitty-gritties of how the legs needs to be in order to float. You know how your hands needs to be in order to float. So the technicalities of it, the fundamentals of it is what you know. The problems, the gaps is what you know. Parents, they think the highest for us. They want the best for us. They want us to be happy. They want us to be safe, secure, all of those things. Yesterday, I told my dad just that I'm having a little cold, and he wants to bring the entire doctors of Kolkata down so that I'll get treated and I'll feel. He's like, come back to Kolkata. We would have treated you and all those things. Is what he keeps telling. And that is like hyper care, but that's the way that they love, right? Now we are caught in this whole situation. Let's take you gave me the example of YouTube. YouTube, am I making videos? I'm making videos every single day. In fact, I have 3 channels and there are consistent videos going in for each of the channels. Each of the channels are having at least 50 views. But the 50 views needs to go to minimum 5,000 views in order to generate some kind of an income. In order to turn the 50 views video to a 5,000 views video, I need to add more graphics, edits, lot of these little elements, skills that I don't have. And even if I want to sit and learn, these are skills that I'm not necessarily interested in learning. Now, either I have to hire or I have to ensure that I learn and do things. Now, that's where the money, as you keep talking about, is the byproduct. The actual value creation itself needs so much of inputs of time, energy, and money in order to take it to that quality to ensure that the results are unfolding. Now, telling that to parents is one side of the picture. They will understand it, that's another side of the picture. The picture where we are stuck in is the fact that we are yet to figure out. I mean, in my case, that's why I revamped my entire social media. Like, I don't want to position myself as a coach anymore. I've done that and it doesn't work. I don't feel congruent with it. Like, I'm not an expert. If I'm not, uh, I have never been a mid-career manager or a CEO of a company and all. Like, why would people even listen to me? You're able to understand. So, because of all these specifics, uh, there are multi-level challenges that comes in when I'm finding it difficult even to speak to myself. Forget about speaking to my parents or explaining anything to them. And this cycle is something that is very difficult to even process. What to speak about, whom to speak about, uh, w- how do we even start the whole stuff? Now, I try doing this with my parents. I try to sit down with them and tell them that, listen, do I have the freedom to give you the whole picture, what's going on, what's not going on, and setting the context, something that we do. Even if I try to do so, they were like, fine, yes, you can do that. Just 30 seconds in the conversation and they will start judging. No, you should have started a dental clinic. No, we had told you this, right? So are you telling even after all these years, you still have no idea what you want to do? Now, they are asking these questions because this is the way that they have been speaking to us. And because the questions are emotionally charging us, we snap out. Like I just tell them very clearly, like, see, this is exactly the reason why I don't like talking to you. And I will never talk to you. And I snap out, although I do it very politely, but I snapped out. And now I know that, okay, I cannot even share anything with my parents. Of course, when I tell the same thing to my mom, she's like, see, we don't know about what you are doing, right? So how can you expect us to help you? Which is perfectly fair. So these are the multi-level challenges that keeps coming in. So I'm not sure whether I answered your questions or not, but whether I'm able to make enough YouTube videos or not, these are the challenges that comes in and opens up.
So from here, what I'm able to decode is when we wanted to become successful in certain things, it's not just what we see. When we do it, only then we know the nitty-gritties of it and the subtle challenges that comes to that. In order to overcome that, we need a different level of skill altogether, especially with what you're telling. Making the thumbnail, title, and then making those 500, 5,000 people to watch. Now, all of these are all the way different skill. Right now, what the skill that we have is we know how to speak on a topic. We can turn on the camera and we can speak. However, is that what YouTube videos all about? I think the answer is no, because YouTube videos are more about what does the audience want and the psychology of how can we retain them, the psychology of how can we make them click on the video and watch. Multiple things are there inbuilt in that one skill. So the the challenges that I'm able to foresee or I'm able to see right now in that, especially in that one skill, is in order to be successful in that one thing, we need to learn multiple other things, right? Okay. Now, learning multiple other things, implementing them, and then becoming successful in that, and then seeing the money in that, and then explaining it to our parents, it's a long process. Now, that's when the first step comes in. The first step is explaining to our parents is the final destination, in this case at least. The first step is us having that conviction and us having that mindset. Okay, somehow I'm going to crack it through. I'm going to ask for help, get the resources, learn about it, and I'm going to do it. Now, this is the first step of mindset. Now, just to do this, what I've seen from you is previously you didn't believe that YouTube can make us big or bring in money and all. But recently you have started working on that. You have started putting the SEOs in place. You've started creating thumbnails. You have started consistently making your YouTube videos. What mindset shift did you make in order to come from, I'm not going to do this, this is not for me, I don't think this will make money, at least for now, you have to spend 3 years in this, to a state where I want to at least start. I just want to put it into practice with whatever I know. What shift happened in between?
It's actually the way that I speak to myself, I guess. That's where the major shift happened. So before, if it was, okay, this is not going to make money right now, it's going to take 3 years. And I know that I've wasted the last 5 years by not creating videos at all, just practicing it in closed Facebook groups. Today, when I see people who started 5 years back with zero skills at all, where they are today. Of course, the COVID pandemic hit, a lot of things happened. Now, the kind of tools that we have, the resources that we have, AI and all that, how comparatively easy it is to at least create a video and put it out. Before, if it used to take 3 hours, 4 hours to release one video. Now, the same yesterday, I sat down and I released what I think 6 or 7 of our podcast videos properly scheduled across the remainder of December, and it took me 3 hours to do it. Everything end to end. Now, even before I say that this is something that does not work, I need to try every single thing step by step as taught. So, for example, today, if YouTube, as an example, now you and I both have the same set of resources when it comes to learning about YouTube, how YouTube works, what is YouTube, how do you even upload a video, every single thing we have learned, we have implemented. There are certain things that we got value also, but then for some reason we stopped. The reason we did not move forward is because we stopped. So now that's the shortcomings, the gaps of what we did not do, for which we were not able to hit that results. Parallelly, I cannot stay dependent on that one social media platform. Oh, I'm going to put all my energy and time on my YouTube channel, expecting that my YouTube channel is going to give me an income. Can I parallelly start uh, Udemy? Can I parallelly start our cohort? Can I parallelly start the articles and newsletters, which will obviously bring in that traffic? Can I interconnect every single thing together in the form of a content flywheel, content fortress, all of these things? Each of these piece is what requires time, energy, and money to learn. More than learning, it's the implementation and the consistency behind it. Now, there has to be a certain threshold during which all these pieces are going to interconnect. If I don't have 5,000 views on my YouTube channel, I can at least have 5 views, out of which 4 of them are watching whatever I'm sharing end to end, and 3 of them will be interested in joining my cohort. That's a big possibility because I know I'm good at sales. If people are sticking with me, and if they are exactly like me, like they don't mind heavy duty editing. Personally, I am also not a very big fan of heavy duty editing, to be honest. That's why I feel relatable not to edit my videos too much. Even if I do so, it'll just be those minor edits, which is easy to learn compared to all those graphics coming in, background getting changed and all, rocket flying from here and all that is way too much. So again, it comes down to, it's not just the mindset, but how you are able to hold and stack up that mindset until and unless you get the results. And personally, for me, I am a very, very simple guy when it comes to results. Is my results equals outcome equals money. So if anything that is not achieving that outcome, which means every single thing that I'm doing is garbage. And now the objective is, it's not every single thing that I'm doing is garbage, it's the missing pieces that I'm not following. So again, it boils down to the mindset that I'm not able to persist and break through. And that always happens because finding I'm not ready to look at the gaps. I'm not ready to accept the mistakes. I'm not ready to accept the fact that I need to work on the problem, find out resources and tools to work on the problem, and then solve it. The moment you solve a problem, that can be turned into an SOP, a system. If you are facing the problem and you've solved it, someone in this world is also facing the same problem and you'd love to solve it for them. So you can solve it through a course, through a consulting call, through a coaching, through a one-to-one call, for companies, for individuals. If that's the mindset that I'm keeping at this point of time, and I know, okay, if I am able to create my YouTube channel, I can teach that to others. They would want to learn from me. I can set it up for them. And that's it. That's 2 income streams already created. So every action step, how can it help me become more valuable in this world? How can I create more assets for people in this world? Every single piece of task is what I am aligning myself to, that simple question itself. So I think that's the shift that has happened.
Fantastic. I loved especially the transition between your self talk. Previously, your self talk was, oh, it's too much, I can't do it, to a self talk, okay, I don't have to do exactly how the legends in the industry are doing. Probably they have the biggest team in the world, so they can edit, they can do the best way, the best possible way. But I'm not in that position, so I don't have to do that way. But I can go back and look, how did they start? They started in a simple way. And as you are a simple guy, you believed, okay, I have to do this, but I can create my way of doing this. I can use the resources that are there and I can create a simplest form. Now, from there, you started implementing, and then I loved how your mind was working on what are the things that you're not accepting, what are the gaps that you're not seeing, and then moving forward to how can you look at them as a small challenge or problems that can be fixed, not a huge mountain which cannot be, which baffles us, rather a small challenge one at a time that can be fixed. And I really loved when you said that if you fix it for yourself, you can fix it for others. You can create a process around it, and for that process people will pay you. So simple. Companies will pay you, people will pay you. If you faced a challenge, if you have overcome a challenge, if you have created a simple process around it, you can become a freelancer, individuals will pay you. You can get hired in a company, companies will pay you for that. What a brilliant breakthrough you just gave me, Surya. You wanted to share something?
Uh, While I was sharing all that aspects, I was also reminded of every single company that I have worked for and built it for them. I mean, whether it's a small team of 20-25 members, or the end-to-end system of content creation for a team with over 290, 300 trainers and teachers. Whether I like doing it or not, I eventually get hired for companies and they realize that I have even the slightest possible interest. So they put me in the team and get the work done out of me eventually, like anyway. The only difference is they pay me a salary for it. Now, I remember you telling in one of the earlier lives that even before you start preparing for your interview, you need to have stories and in the form of your experience that validates the points that is mentioned in your resume. So while I was giving you that answer, I was immediately reminded of all those moments, how I built a sales team from scratch, training and development from scratch, HR teams from scratch, the interview system end to end from scratch, the employee retention system from scratch, customer relationship management, the SOPs for uh, training for sales team members, on the job training, the initial call scripts, and all of those things is what I have built for companies, which right now, even to this date, the companies that I worked for are they use it as their intellectual assets. So preparing the same right now, again, because I'm in that mindset as well, all these stuff are put out on YouTube, my website, and all these different places turns out to be my intellectual assets that anyone can use. And I'm the perfect place, perfect position right now. When anyone comes to me for a problem, I can just guide them, like, please go through this and do this. And in case if you want me to do it for you, well, this is the fee, this is the consulting charges. If you want me to do it for you, so like consulting is when I just tell you what to do it. If you want to do me to do it for you, then you are onboarding me as your freelancer consultant or whatever it is on a contractual basis. This is the fee. This is a non-negotiable fee right now. And that's it. If you're ready, we can go ahead. Now I work with one or two such projects that pretty much takes care of the entire year's amount, because doing something for someone, that's when it gets really challenging, because you're not only doing, you're teaching them also how are you going to use whatever it is that you've created for them. And all of these little things is what I'm able to create out of every single task that I'm doing ever since I resigned. A YouTube video, a live, a repurposing of a flywheel, content fortress, all of these little pieces that is coming together. Now, one crazy thing is I have decided that I want to learn it end to end, even today as well. After this live gets over, the today's entire day is just dedicated into sitting with AI and just talking out. And that's a new process that I will be implementing right now, brainstorming and then turning it into different prompts and stuff. This is probably the newest way to interact with AI now that ChatGPT 5.2 is launched, Gemini 3 is launched, Claude has upgraded, Perplexity we have. So that's the there's those follow-up points that I felt, as you were sharing, right? I was just getting those insights and I thought I'll just give that picture of it as well. Yeah, over to you.
The best part is, as you were sharing your thought process, I was able to understand how any freelancer who is listening to this podcast can literally create a stream of income for them, which you have done for yourself, where all they need to do is face, take up a challenge, overcome the challenge, create a process, create a system around it, and put it out for sale. Literally, people will be there to buy from you. And the best part is they can even make videos like how you make videos, done for, do it yourself, which they can, which people can learn from that. And if they really get customers who want them to do the work, then you can charge for that. In fact, the premium charges will also do, because you have already established your authority over there. Now, this is for someone who wants to establish themselves as a freelancer or have their own income. Now, I also want to touch upon this very aspect of how did you previously use this same skill and get jobs? Because what I've seen from you is getting job is never a problem for you. Getting that interview cracked is never a problem for you. Negotiating your salary was never a problem for you. And the best part is you had leaps and bounds in your salary increase from where you started and where you last settled. So that change was drastic. And as our audience, they are mostly professionals, working professionals who are looking to get a better job, who wants to settle who wants to look for a better opportunity, better pay, good environment to work with. I just want you to touch upon that aspect as well. How do you use the same process? You face a challenge, you overcome a challenge, you create a process. And here I want you to take the diversion of sitting in an interview, and how do you speak that, explain that to your interviewer in such a way that this is the person I want in my team. Now, after that, they made their mind that they want you in the team no matter what, and then they work an extra mile to give you the pay that you ask for. How do you do all of those things? And how do you think this process of creating the SOPs is helping you to get that pay?
My God, you asked me quite a few questions, and I have to just organize an answer in such a manner where I answer all of it properly. When we started the conversation, I think it all begins from there itself. You need to speak to, first of all, ensure that you are able to understand yourself. You are able to understand the person you are speaking to. You have to understand the situation that they are in. So, a multi level, multi layered understanding and awareness is needed here. Now, the awareness A word turns into one more A word called as altruism yet again, where you decide to feel what the other person is also going through. Now, the moment you involve awareness into each of these aspects, immediately you will begin to realize that your awareness will guide you towards clarity. Clarity about what is it that you want? What is it that the person that you are speaking to wants? What is it that the company that you are interviewing for wants? What is the end result? The company, the kind of people that they're serving wants. What is your role related and how it is going to solve all the pieces of the puzzle? Just by being aware, you are being clear. And I just gave you examples of 5 questions that I asked. What is it that each of the levels want? The same way, when I go back, my parents, what is it that they want? What is it that I want? What is it that they want to tell to the society? What is the ideal scenario that connects everything together? Awareness brings in clarity. Clarity brings in better quality questions. The moment you ask better quality questions, you are by default, your brain keeps giving you the answers. Quality of questions determines the quality of answers. The moment you have those answers in front of you, Guess what is happening when you are using those answers? Those are like what rocket launchers you have in front of you right now. The people you are speaking to will literally feel like you are speaking their minds, you are speaking their hearts. All you are doing is just answering the questions that they are also having. Now let's look at the interviewer's situation, because I've taken more than 150 interviews, so I can tell you exactly what the interviewer thinks as well. How can I hire this person? How is this person's skill set relevant to what we are looking for? Is this person able to understand why we need him and the detailed job description? Is this person able to have the experience and the previous stuff that they have gone through to to help us solve the problem for which we are hiring this person? What are the additional things that this person can bring in? How can I ensure that I pay him the least and get the most out of him? And it's a win-win-win for the company initially. Later, if he stays, then we will help him or her grow. That's what they're also asking themselves, and you are already answering the questions for them even before they're asking those questions. They have different set of questions thinking inside. They ask you different set of questions. They ask you in such a manner, usual interview level questions. Can you tell me more about yourself? Or how can you help the company grow if we decide to hire you? What is it that you feel you can bring in that anyone and all the other people will not bring in? What is going to happen? So again, just by you bringing in the awareness and the clarity and the questions, you are already able to answer. Now the weird part in this, though, I have practiced this far too many times, so I'm able to do it. If I'm in an interview, I mean, for me an interview is never an interview, it's a conversation. I detailed it out, I think, in one of my previous lives where I broke down the detailed steps of an interview. However, this very topic that we started out today, why is speaking so difficult unless we are practicing? This level of depth in awareness and clarity, the awareness itself gets completely blocked and numbed the moment I'm speaking to my parents. And when awareness is blocked, there's no clarity. Like the self clarity itself ceases to exist. Forget about the clarity of what mom is thinking, what baba is thinking, what will they tell the society. Like, what do I speak about right now? That itself is the biggest question in that very conversation. It's so uh, difficult, and it like, for me, I'll tell you personally, it becomes very, very difficult to breathe as well. I face claustrophobia when I'm talking to them. It's so hard to explain. It feels like I've gone back to that little 4-year-old, 5-year-old version of me, where my parents are talking to me and I literally am defenseless. Like, I literally don't know what am I supposed to do, even though I have all the control in my life right now. And when that happens, quite possibly the conversation does not move forward. Now, there is a big chance that the same thing can happen for people who are attending an interview and they haven't prepared. So I ask myself, well, have I practiced conversations with my parents? I haven't. I remember you and I doing a little bit of a role play on quite a few specific occasions where you played the role of my dad and I was answering, and then you switched hats and you gave me examples of what am I supposed to do. I made a notes of it. Obviously, those one or two scenarios I have it prepared right now as notes, so I can always take out the notes, and that is my anchor to at least bring me back to clarity and awareness. But that's the level of prep that we need, which I'm sure people who are attending the interview, they wouldn't even think in this context. In fact, I don't think we have discussed these concepts also anywhere before. So it all brings down to those little things yet again. The awareness, the clarity, the quality of questions that you ask, keeping that as your foundation even before you're given any bit of it. For a company, it becomes far easy to do so because the companies have their website, their mission, vision, value statements. They give you a job description to go through. You know exactly what are the experiences that you've had. The people working in the company, you can go to their LinkedIn profiles and check all the details. You can go to the HR's profile and read about the HR in LinkedIn. You can also stalk those people on their Instagram page and Facebook page and see what are the names of their wives and children and all. So you create more, you expand your awareness, and you use all of those things as value bombs in the interview, so that they feel the proximity, and we know proximity is power. They know that you've done your homework to such an extent that you know about little bit about their personal likes and dislikes as well. And then you realize the connection between their lifestyle, the work that they do for the company, how is both related, and how you're able to match, model, and mirror your own expectations and what you're bringing onto the table with that without actually using the word. So if the interviewer likes to go for a vacation, and if you're using the words like, I don't like taking holidays on New Year's, I would love for you to go and take one with your family, with Mrs. Chopra and both the kids, because I'm going to be here taking care of the entire thing end to end. I have the leadership skills to bring it on. So you can just blindly trust me and take your vacation peacefully. I'd love that for you. Now, that depth of an answer, it's not possible to create that out of the blue until unless you've done that background work. And correct me if I'm wrong, you will not find any of your competitors using this phrase because they've not done the work. They're just focused on, oh, I just want to get the job. These are the techniques and methods that I apply. Of course, having said that, it's far too difficult to maintain all of that once you join, because you set the expectations so high, and that's where I struggled. Staying in the job is what I struggle, but getting the interview, it shouldn't be much of a big deal. I think I gave a far too longer answer. Over to you.
I loved that answer, especially how you divided these two scenarios. And for you, the situation is unique, and I'm generalizing the situation right now. The two different Suryadeep. The Suryadeep, when he speaks to his parents, completely blank. And the major reason I see over there is because of the fear. And you said you also felt that claustrophobic when you are talking to them. And the first layer, which is awareness, is shattered. And then the clarity is nowhere. And then that's when you completely go stuck, blank. And how you compared that with interviews. For people who are sitting for interviews, for you, the fear happens with your parents. And for others, the fear happens when the stakes are high, when you need this interview. This is the only interview you have in hand. If you don't get it right now, there's no money to pay the bills the upcoming month. There's no money in the pocket. Family is there dependent on you. You have children. And that's when things completely take the turn where you are desperate. Now, here there are two different things, two different challenges. First of all, you are desperate. And on top of that, you're not prepared, which is you haven't rehearsed the conversations that is supposed to happen in the interview. As Surya, when you said that, you are already a great speaker who is making multiple videos. However, when it comes to speaking to your parents, you completely go blank. And then you said one more thing, that you had a discussion with me where we did a kind of a role play. We took a scenario and then we did role plays where I through questions that are possible. I predicted and preempted questions and I said, if this happens, what do you do? If this happens, what would you do? And then I helped you what to do with that. You took notes and then you said that right now that's an anchor. And for people, generalization, if you are in a high stake interviews or meetings where you desperately need that, I'm so sorry, going without practice will put you in a shock. What you need is you need to either sit with a human being who can guide you through. Please don't sit with people who have no clue about what you're doing, who have no clue about what is the situation and scenario, who has no clue about how to guide you. Please don't sit with them. It's going to make the situation worse rather than doing good. Sit with someone who can help you in the process. Or if you feel like, Yogeshwari, I don't have the money to do it right now, this live is there to help you. Watch this live multiple times, you will get the breakthrough. Or, yeah, can I just finish this one thing, Surya, and then I'll hand it over to you. And the best part is AI is there, ChatGPT is there. That's what you wanted to share. Yeah, I'm giving the thing to you. Over to you.
This is exactly what I wanted to share. So one of the best ways to do role plays is to give the entire context. In fact, I did this just yesterday. Okay, I copied the entire transcript of all the lives that we have done, put it into AI, and then I was practicing a round of conversation and literally felt like I was talking to Yogeshwari. That's because I literally uploaded all those details, and then I said, no, just imagine that you are Yogeshwari, I'm Surya, and I'm having a conversation with you. I want to do a role play in which you are going to give me clarity on how to make things happen. I was way too overwhelmed, and Yogeshwari was in the church, so I couldn't call her. And guess what? AI did turn as Yogeshwari and give me the exact insights. So in this case, the role play, you can ask, you can set the context, and then you can give the role play of, okay, act as my HR and start. Let's do a first round call, initial call of you calling me and asking me the basic details. Okay, now sit down with me for a technical round of interview. Sit down with me as my reporting manager. Sit down with me as the final round, the CEO round, and all, and ask me the questions. Here's the context. That will spark something out of this world. And again, ChatGPT Go is just what, 399, $400, but less than $5. So you cannot, you don't need to have any excuses. And even if you do, the free version is far more than enough to just round about it. So yeah, I just wanted to add that follow-up point. Yes. Oh, right now it's free for India. Yes. If you're an Indian, ChatGPT Go is free for a year. Perplexity, if you're an Airtel user, it's free for a year. So just dive in, make the most of it. Over to you.
Now, as we have come to the end of this conversation, I want to loop it back from where we started. So, previously, before you started sharing about I just touched upon how the fear is literally making us go blank and we are messing up everything. How preparation is a savior over there. How preparation works wonders despite we are under pressure, desperate. Preparation is literally the savior over there. Now, coming to the best case scenario where you have did your best despite having any preparation at all in the interviews, where you did your groundwork, you have that highest level of awareness, you know what you want, you know what the company wants, you know what the interviewer wants, and then you cracked the interview, you negotiated the salary that you want in the best possible way. Now, do you agree with me? All of these things, the fundamental point is you practicing speaking 3 times a day, making videos in 2020. Do you agree that that's where it all started? Your ability to speak first, organize your thought process, put it out as a video, and then slowly, gradually develop that into an expert sitting in an interview, taking complete control of the interview. People think that interviewers take control, but you proved me wrong. You made me feel that no, 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 I take control of the interview. I navigate how the interview moves through and everything. Do you think the starting point, fundamental, is speaking every single day, making video every single day? Do you agree on that?
120%. If you want to become a good speaker, you cannot read books on with speaking. You have to actually start speaking. What happens even more amazing is, you see, there are all these different techniques and methods and role plays and all that. You can learn everything in this world about it. The greatest blessing, the greatest euphoric moment is when you realize how this technique works exclusively for me. And that is fundamentally unique and personalized only and only for you. The moment you realize that, all the fear disappears once and for all. And all you need is just that one speck, like that one moment. Today, when you give me a completely new audience together, 5 people, 500 people, 5,000 people, 5 million. I haven't yet spoken in front of them, maybe very soon. I don't think I'll have any fear of speaking to people. Nothing. Because I've done it so many times and I've experienced that one moment where I spoke in front of people and people were in my control for that few moments of me holding the mic and speaking, even though I was not directly speaking to the people. You practicing speaking will get you to experience that moment. And that's really the moment that changes everything. Tony Robbins puts it perfectly. Change literally happens in a moment. And if you feel that it took you these many months, years, and decades to get experience that change, and that's because you've been experiencing multiple steps leading you up to that moment of change. And that's when it acts as a breakthrough. And I'm sure at some point of time, every single one of us have helped a family member, a friend, a senior, a junior, someone or the other. We have helped them through our speaking. So it's already in you. It's not something that you discover. It's something that's in you. It's something that you just find. And the moment you do so, it becomes easy. Speaking is definitely something that is a phenomenal head start towards it.
The best part is right now in Speak to Lead cohort, that is exactly what we are doing. I think we have completed week 2, session 4 last Saturday. And what I'm able to understand is when we started out with the session 1, we just started out making one video. And then we moved on to one video and the evaluation. Now, in at the end of session 4, week 2, we are every one of us participating in the cohort. We are making 4 videos, one speaking on a topic, and 3 evaluation, which is literally we are evaluating other speakers, through which we are learning, observing, and listening skills. Those skills are getting built. I am so enjoying to the core how it is happening and the changes that are happening inside me, the transformation that is happening inside me. And I want you to just touch upon and then wrap this meeting with this thought process of how starting with speaking on a topic with the right structure and then listening to someone speaking, processing that information, finding out where can we help that person make the speaking better next time, and again organizing those thoughts, putting it as an evaluation. So many thought process happening inside our head. How do you think this is going to help someone who wants to speak in an interview, in a meeting, give a presentation, in high stakes meeting with clients, having that flow of thoughts, organizing that in Snap? How is it going to help them?
Just think about an ideal scenario. You as a team performing wonderfully well. People who are not performing that well, you're able to inspire and take them to the next level. People who are slacking down, you're able to bring them up and create their best version. Your boss is giving you the promotion. You are hiring the right people. In fact, you are able to leave your job whenever you want and move to a higher job, get maybe double the pay. All of these things become possible. The fundamental reason is the angle of communication that you master through Speak to Lead. When you speak, you're sharing your perspective. When you listen to others, you are understanding and then giving them the evaluation that is actually going to help them grow. When you are evaluating your own stuff, you are, first of all, working on that awareness and clarity and then giving yourself that feedback. So you're learning to love yourself. And as you do all these things, the multi-level mindset continues to grow. Now, these many angles is what you're able to cover in 30 days just by spending 10 minutes per day. Every single thing that we have learned, implemented, and saw what impact it creates over the last 7 years in the corporate for me, 10 plus years for Yogeshwari, is what we are bringing together in this very, very fun filled, intense, uh, I would say, adventure. Once you finish the adventure, that's when you know, oh, wow, even without my awareness, I'm able to, I'm seeing in retrospection that I'm practicing and implementing the stuff that I've learned in my day-to-day personal and professional life. So my relationship with my spouse and children have changed. My relationship with my boss, juniors and seniors have changed. I've just started attracting better opportunities, and even better, people are walking up to me and telling, "Hey, you're smiling more. What's going on? Huh? Something is different." Now, I'll tell you, people would say that to us as well. Time and again, I see Yogeshwari. Uh, she will call me up, and she'll be like, Nice. This particular friend spoke to me and she's like, Yogi, what have you done? You're making videos, you're looking so amazing. Yogeshwari's professors reaches out to her for help and all. That's the impact that's going to happen. But more than anything else, you will feel like you've developed an unconscious competence which has turned out to be your superpower. There's this question that goes on, right? Like, if you have any superpower that you could wish for and you can have it, and people talk about, I want to scan, I want to have X-ray vision, or I want to fly and whatever. Let's just say that this 30 days, we are gifting you the greatest superpower, which is to be able to organize your thoughts and speak in such a way that you are able to lead and you're able to create an impact. That's precisely why Speak and Lead was born. Speak to Lead. Every single time you are wanting to solve a problem for yourself, your company, or anyone that you know, it always begins with understanding the problem, getting clear about the problem, and then speaking about the problem. The process and steps happen way later. Decoding and detangling the problem is what happens first, and you would be that person your company would be looking out for. So those would be my answers.
So, pick to lead is literally creating that superpower, unshakable confidence that you will have in you, your boss will have in you, and you will become irreplaceable. Yeah, irreplaceable. Now, with that, we would like to end this coffee and communication paired with Speak to Surya, daily live with Surya. I'm messing things up, and that's okay because we are speaking for almost an hour and we need some rest. I guess our brain needs some rest. With that, see you tomorrow with me, sharp at 8, with Surya, sharp at 8:30, where we are going to break the multiple layers of speaking, where we are going to work on your mindset, work on your skill set. Whether you're joining Speak to Lead cohort or not, this life is for you to bring your better version out of you. So, whether you are joining us or whether you're not joining us, just stick with us for the life. I'm sure you will see that. With that, see you tomorrow.